That's okay.
Apparently, you have
We
to
didn't
push
start.
that.
Yeah, we haven't actually started.
Oh,
Okay.
neat.
Waiting for live video, it says. And then I hit.
That's fine. We get to listen to that song again.
Yeah.
I am particularly offended by other people's bad habits that are not the same as my own at the present time. The way they always do those things, this and that and other stuff that I don't have the time, money, or energy to do anymore. But if you've got some things to say about stuff I do every day, that is not the same as yourself at the present time. Who, tell me who, that's WHO, died and made you king.
Be me. Sitting at work, nothing to do. Go for a quick smoke. Siggy.jpg. Go back to the office. Touch door handles, lift buttons, and a bunch of other shit. Sudden urge to piss. Toilet.png. Whip my dick out, start pissing. Forgot to wash my hands first. Oh shit, Corona. My face when I casually wash my dick in the sink after pissing.
You never
guys
know where
remember
that dick might
Corona?
be.
You guys remember when that was?
No, I
big
don't.
news?
I don't.
I'm just glad it's all over.
I love. Yeah,
all over
Completely
now.
over.
I
People
love
are back
how
to rioting in the streets.
I love how when we had people peacefully protesting the lockdown, they were called white supremacist Nazis. And now that we've got people rioting and burning shit down, they're just called protesters. It's beautiful. I love how the media works.
Now they're
Guys,
heroes.
Yeah, they're heroes. I had a great demonstration this week as to why I do not ride motorcycles. Because I grew up, my dad rode a motorcycle, and sometimes when I was a kid, I would actually, ride around with him, and he would drive up in the mountains and stuff. It was cool. I was always a little nervous, though. I was always a little scared of the whole thing. But Saturday, I was going home from work, and this would have been it was exactly 2:45 a.m. Exactly. I know because I have the 911 call on my phone. The 911 call I made on my phone is 2:45. So I'm passing this Taco Bell, and at this Taco Bell late night, for some reason, all these fucking kids just hang out there. They've got their fucking cars, they put the two small wheels on them, and they lean against them and just like look at my car.
Yeah.
There's like
They're
a dozen of them out there. They're just loitering.
And their wheels are like this. Where
Yeah,
it's really
some
just
might.
like the corner of the tire is actually the only part.
What are you
with
talking
contact.
about?
Yeah, some do that.
They're there to protect the border.
It's some old fashioned.
Everybody's making run for the border protection.
Everybody makes for the run for the border out here.
That's right.
Not in our watch.
Mountain Dew slush. There's limited supplies.
Is that code red?
Baja Blast.
Oh, that's right. Baja. Yeah.
Right, Baja. So I passed this Taco Bell, and this is out, people that know, out in Midland Plaza here in Maryville.
It's like the most wretched Taco Bell.
Yeah, it sucks. It's terrible.
It used to be good.
So right as I'm passing them, I look ahead and I see a huge box truck, heading toward me. And then I see a motorcycle, and I'm not sure exactly what happened at this point, whether or not my suspicion is this guy was just an idiot and tried to pass this box truck really fast and lost control of the motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps the truck hit him, or perhaps he hit the truck. I'm not sure on that. But what I saw was just suddenly this motorcycle flies across the road in front of me. It hits the curb, flips up into the air.
Ooh.
The guy, I think what happens is there's him. He's flying above the motorcycle. He crashes onto the motorcycle, bounces, and then rolls and lands right in front of this State Farm insurance building, like 2 feet from the front door.
Well, that's
Well,
he could have he had an opportunity to save it if he'd have come down, 2 feet on the stirrups,
No, it was. I mean, he was going way too fast, and he hit this curb. Because I went back, I drove by it later to look at it. He probably flew over 20 feet, and he was probably above 10 feet in the air.
Oh,
and so I saw this, and I saw him land. When he landed, he kind of went behind this other building. When I saw it, I'm like, holy fuck, this guy's fucking dead right now. Just like, this guy's dead.
This guy shit is fucked up.
It was straight up world star. It was amazing. Yeah. Within 5 seconds of him landing, I've pulled up next to him. My car is there. That's how close I was when this happened. And I already have my phone out. I'm calling 911. And as I pull up, I see the guy. He's just going, "Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me!" Just like that.
And Nathan's like, "Oh man, this is gonna be great banner for the show."
This would be perfect. So I think, well, at least he's not dead. I know he's currently
He's
not
breathing.
Dead.
He's clearly breathing. His lungs are good.
He can control his faculties to some extent.
Yeah. And I get out and I'm standing because like he's in front of the door of this building, and then the wreckage of the motorcycle is between us. And I'm not going near him yet. I'm not ready to walk close to this guy at all. So I'm just standing there, and I'm calling 911. And as soon as I call 911, he's like, somebody call 911. I'm like, I'm the only one fucking here. Like,
I guess I'll do it.
But as I'm calling, all these kids from the fucking Taco Bell, there's like a dozen. They all run up the street.
Start throwing burritos at them.
Yes. They all run up, and they're freaking out. They're surrounding this guy. They're surrounding this guy, and I hear one guy go, he's like, "Oh, fuck, it's my bike. Fuck, that's my bike. I don't have any insurance on that bike."
Oh, no.
While his friend he can't move. You look over him, and his legs are going fucking this way. They're not. His legs don't look quite right. They don't look quite right.
They don't look quite right.
No,
this ain't my day. This ain't my day.
There's something going on with his legs. And at this point, he's not making any noise. He's just laying there, and his friend is like cradling him, and he's also calling 911. And the paramedic, or not paramedic, the 911, the guy at 911 is like, "Well, can you assess his injuries? Do you know what's wrong with him?" I'm like, "Man, he looks really fucked up.
It's bad.
It looks bad. It looks really bad.
His ankle is somewhere he shouldn't be able to reach.
I can't get near him right now. I can't talk to him. All these people ran up. He's like, "Yeah, we're getting all the calls from them too." So he's like, he's got another 10 calls from the same people in this big
Ask
group
them
of people
to assess his injuries.
And somebody goes, "He's got a broken leg." So I told Mary, "Well, I guess he's got a broken leg." I mean, it looks worse than that. It looks far worse than that.
Calm down.
But yeah, he asked me my name and my number. I give it to him, and then he's like, "Well, thanks." And I'm like, "Okay." And I just get in my car and I leave. I'm out of there.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of there.
He didn't even wait for the ambulance to come.
Nah, they knew where to go.
I mean, if 12 of his friends didn't show up, I would have. I would have been cradling his helmeted head, and I've been cradling him and whispering, "It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
You're gonna make it
Stay
through
away
this,
from the light.
buddy.
Don't go into the light. Stay on planet Earth. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Ignore the numb feeling in your legs. It's fine.
Don't look at your legs.
Don't even
Just
try
don't
to
look at your legs.
Don't look down. Don't look down. But that was definitely the worst car accident any kind of accident I've seen. I saw a semi truck tip over in front of me one time. That was pretty bad, but this was definitely far worse. Far worse. So that was pretty fun. How are you guys this week?
Great.
Let's go to Bekah.
Let's.
Bekah, I noticed something. You got a nose ring. Tell us about that.
I thought you were gonna say mustache the way you were pointing.
You got something to say, Brad?
No, I would never.
Never
Becca's
point that out.
Becca's looking great tonight, but I want to hear about the nose ring.
Well, It's been a feature of my face for about 3 months now. I guess you just never noticed.
It's the resolution.
You have not been. You have not had that in on.
You
the
didn't have
Yeah,
a hoop.
she even told the story, I think, on the show. Wasn't
Maybe
it when Tiffany was down there or something?
See, I don't. My resolution is always fucked up, but I've not seen a hoop in here. Maybe I just couldn't see it.
Well, okay. To be fair, this is only like the 3rd time I've worn the hoop.
See, yeah, I've just not been able to see it.
Yeah. Well, I've had a little thing in there the whole time.
Hangouts isn't good for noticing little tiny studs in
No.
nostrils.
Nuances.
No.
Well, you can't win them all.
Everybody looks grainy to me anyway because of my internet. So,
well,
okay,
you look
I guess there's no story there. We'll move on.
Well, I do have something really exciting to tell you guys.
Oh, okay.
My shoulder is fucked up. So you know what that means? Do you know what that means?
You get to go.
Oh, it's time for a massage.
It's time for a massage. So it is time to reignite the massage saga.
Reopen the floodgates.
Spread them wide. Spread them wide.
Massage stories.
Stay tuned.
COVID
you don't have. You're just giving us a stay tuned. You don't.
Yeah. I'm just telling you, my shoulder is fucked. So
okay, moving on.
Teaser.
Dave, how are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm having a good time. I'm in a new location.
Strange location.
Undisclosed, of course.
Always, yes.
Definitely not that place you always talk about being at all the time.
No, not that place. It's the other one.
Okay.
No, it's pretty good. I haven't played much Destiny. I found out that, of course, this is like far away, so it doesn't really matter. But early next year, those of you that have played Elite and Dangerous,
Elite and Dangerous.
It's because you have to be both Elite and Dangerous, even though it's Elite Dangerous. You have to be both of those. You can be able to walk on planets.
Whoa! Hey, that's getting kind of close to what I wish the game was when I was playing it.
Yeah, you'll be able to walk on planets. There'll be close quarter combat, PvP as well.
Walking around inside those space stations and stuff?
Yeah, there's a trailer out there. You're walking on the planet's surface. So it's something new. But, first of 2021, so you could probably look at it around fall of 2021, I'd say.
Cool.
That's it. That's my biggest news. Yo.
Way to go.
Hey, Brad.
Hey. I've had better weeks. I'll say that.
How them bugs doing out there?
Tell me about your trials and tribulations.
Fuck every bug. So if anybody listened last week, they probably remember the story of when I got stung by a wasp and had a moderate to severe allergic reaction to it. So not even 12 hours after the podcast, I'm at work. I have to crawl under a crawl space, and I get down, getting ready to go underneath, and I feel a sting in my finger. I'm like, oh, fuck. Didn't see what stung me, but I just knew the way my hand was sitting, it had to have been something stung me. I'm thinking it might have been an ant bite. And I'm like, oh, well, it wasn't a wasp, so that's maybe, it's nothing. Ant bites are just as bad as wasp bites.
It could be a manslaughter hornet.
Yeah. A manslaughter hornet.
We've stepped the charge down a little bit.
The crawling manslaughter hornet.
Well, you get murder hornets. It didn't kill him, and it stung him.
I think it's second-degree murder hornet.
It's a manslaughter hornet.
Well, manslaughter, you did kill him, but you weren't necessarily setting out to do so. It was negligence that led to.
Well, you didn't. Did you kneel on the hornet?
I don't believe so.
For 8.5 minutes?
I would think he would have stung me in the knee. He would have stung whatever was closest to him.
Facebook's going to shut us down.
Stung anything you want. But yeah, I got bit, fucking swole up, got the hives, fucking. So my chin didn't swell up because during the wasp sting the first time, my chin swelled up. So whenever I looked down, I felt a mass underneath my chin, where normally that mass is not there. But when I got stung by, I'm guessing the ant the second time, I didn't have any swelling there, but my heart rate was like really, really high when it didn't jump at all during the first time. So it's like I traded bad outcomes, bad situations.
No chance that was just like a concerned raising of the heart, like you worried.
An adrenaline surge.
Like, boom, boom. Like, what the fuck was that?
I don't think so, because I was able to just stay focused. I was like, okay, well, just do what I got to do, and then do what I got to do next, and do that. And when I started noticing I was getting the hives again, I had forgotten to bring my Benadryl with me in the car that day. So I went inside. I talked to the lady and asked her if she had any. I think Benadryl is the name brand, but it's just antihistamines. Took those, still swell up, still itchy, still all the shitty stuff. So live with that. And fast forward to yesterday. I have to go swap out a radio on top of somebody's roof. And there are these protective domes that all they're good for is just letting things live in them.
Yeah.
I go to take off this dome, twist it off, go to pull it up. Wasp comes out, stings me right in the arm. I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?" Because I was like, "Are you fucking serious?" He's like, "Why? What happened?" I was like, "You'll never fucking guess. A wasp just jumped out of this protective cover and stung me."
maybe like the first one like injected some kind of a pheromone that now you put off this pheromone. It's like, hey, sting me.
Hey, sting. Yeah, it's just he put a sign on my back that says sting me.
You're missing out. This is a whole YouTube channel, Brad versus the Stinger.
I don't particularly care for it. I don't like this idea.
Yeah, but if you spent years building up a YouTube channel and then eventually, made, a couple $100 a month,
I mean, that picture you sent, it looked like you had a Popeye arm. That was serious.
Well, at some point you're going to build up a tolerance. These keep coming on. What happened with the second wasp? I mean, how was the reaction with that one?
The second wasp, so that was the crazy part, because as soon as it happened, I just got off the roof and walked to my car and took the Benadryl, because I had it in the car with me, like within 2 minutes of getting stung. And the only thing that happened was this swelled up a little bit, because I got stung right here on my forearm.
Punk ass wasp.
It just swelled up and was red for a little bit, but I didn't have any hives, and I didn't have the general feeling of shit that comes with being stung and having no energy. So I'm wondering if either wasps can do a dry sting where they don't inject venom, like how snakes can do a dry bite where they don't inject anything.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's either that, or did I build up a tolerance?
Well, if that's the case,
Maybe
I think
different kind of wasp.
I think you should be offended. You weren't good enough for his venom.
I guess so.
Or her venom.
Or he just ain't got good venom. It's a punk ass wasp.
It could be he was living with two frogs in that radio. There were two little
Maybe he
frogs.
Was stinging those frogs all day. Ran out of venom.
I'm trying to take it apart, and I got a frog less than a millimeter away from my thumb, and he's just looking at me like, "What you doing up here?"
And you're like, I could ask you the same question.
I can ask you. I got a lot of questions for you, frog living on a roof.
Well, I didn't
Why
tell
haven't you eaten this wasp, frog? It's your job.
Yeah, what the fuck? You're just friends with the wasp?
I didn't tell you
that
that John expressed his concern for you. John is our cigarette smoking like property manager guy, and he called the other day. He needed Brad to move his car for some reason, and he brought up him getting I was like, well, actually, yeah, he's the only reason he's home is because he got stung by some shit, and he's had a rough go. Well, you gotta be careful crawling under those houses. Yeah, man. I mean, you never know what's down there.
Why didn't I think of that?
They got hornets, they got brown recluse down there. You're right, John. I'm a
How's
fucking
that
engineer.
poor Brad?
Why didn't
I heard
think of
Brad
that?
was puny. He was puny.
I'm
You ever
a-
heard that? The Tennessee thing?
Yeah. You feeling puny?
Puny.
Yeah, my grandmother,
Puny.
my mama would say that. Somebody that's like prone to getting sick, they're puny. He's puny. He's always getting sick. He's puny.
By the way, Jerry's in
hate
the
that.
chat.
He's puny.
Hi,
What's
Jerry.
up, Jerry?
Oh, that's right.
Hi,
I don't have
Jerry.
the chats. Damn it.
Make sure you mute it first. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
I'll
this
tell you
one
one
not-
thing. Jerry's not puny.
Jerry thought that. Well, I don't know if it's an accusation or just concern for a friend, but he was referring to when Bekah was talking about her shoulder. He said, "Messed up shoulder masturbating?" ?
A health concern.
But I don't know if we can talk about that on Facebook or not, because YouTube
We've all
doesn't
seen
like
what
it.
happens when we talk about that.
I think
Get your shit
Facebook
shut
is-
down, man. They don't
I
play.
think Facebook doesn't have the algorithm that YouTube has.
They don't
Not
give a
yet.
shit.
Yeah.
Everything goes.
They'll just buy YouTube at some point.
Hey, Patrick.
What? Yeah.
Wow.
What I do?
Were you about to ask me something?
Yeah, I mean, what's up, man?
What's up,
What's
man?
going on?
Well, I don't know. The pretty exciting thing that's happened this week was we got to hang out with Barry J. Gillis over Hangouts. That was a lot of
Yeah, we
fun.
did.
That was
We
the
talked
director of.
Wicked Games,
Wicked World
Wicked World. Sorry.
and Things.
Yeah, and things. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked to that guy for 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, he talked to us. I mean,
Yeah.
you couldn't stop him. He just went and went. So,
There was a machine.
yeah, that was very exciting. Yeah.
That's
was.
on
Oh,
your.
yeah.
That's on your No More Popcorn YouTube channel.
Yeah, he sent us a screener for his movie that's coming out next week. We watched that.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
would've
watched
had it
that
up.
to review it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have had it up last night, but my computer's been being shitty, so I should hopefully have it up tonight, that
Yeah.
review. And then I'll have the interview up after I edit the shit out of it this week, however long that's going to take me.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
It's
it was
about-
a lot. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. That was a highlight of my week. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Man.
Steve-O.
I barely made it in time after the other big launch, which I guess I'll probably devote a little more time to later. There was another Starlink launch tonight. That's 8 batches of 60. They're marching closer. So I was trying to figure out where to go, and then I was working today. I didn't want to try to move the schedule around for this one because I basically took all of last week off, and so I was like, well, I won't do remote cameras for this one. But then as it was getting closer to time to launch, I was like, let me check that email. I get an email from the media chief for the Air Force, and he gives like the schedule. I was like, maybe I'll just go out to the press site. So that's what I did. I scurried and went out to the press site and watched the launch and hurried my ass home. And now here we are. That launch was at 9:25, and I was ready to go by 10:30 ish.
Ish.
So there you go. More Starlinks are up. And there's probably going to be like another one. Like the way that he was talking was like there's going to be more. They're going to be coming rapid fire now that astronaut launch is over. There's going to be a bunch more Starlinks. Maybe like 3 this month.
Wow.
So about how many do we need for him to start selling?
Well, what he said, or I can't remember who, Elon or Gwen Shotwell or whoever. It has been said that once they have 12 batches up, then they can start with like the betas, the private betas and stuff. And I don't expect us to be able to get in on that, but me and Brad were talking. It's like depending on how that public beta goes, if it's possible for us to get in on it, maybe it'll be like cheap or.
Mm-hmm.
Or just
I'll
get
say it's a definite we'll see.
Yeah. See if maybe I don't know. You probably got to buy the receiver or something. I don't know. We'll see what it is, and then that'd be cool to try it out if it's affordable. But yeah, 12 batches supposedly is when stuff like that'll start, and we'll see. That'll be by the end of the summer, I would say.
Nice.
Yeah, I hope I'll be able to try that.
Yeah.
So, as I'm sure everybody knows, there's been protests that have turned into riots and
unrest
and looting.
What are you talking about?
General social unrest this week.
It's been all over World Star. I can't find any stripper videos.
Yeah, right. It's just random people being beaten up and shit being lit on fire. It's
right.
No fun at all. But along with this, since there is a Black Lives Matter thing tied into it, a lot of our corporations have really been virtue signaling to try to get some political points, some signal boosting. And I've got one that I caught on Twitter before they took it down. I sent it to Steve-O, the screen capture of this. This is from Popeye's Chicken.
Oh, yes. Let me
pull that up.
Is this one? Yes.
Oh,
sorry,
Steve-O,
I don't have my. Yeah, I don't.
and
I was like, oh, maybe I can like ninja this. I thought I could like get it.
Careful.
I was like, oh no, I'm not. Like I don't have my other window up. I'm just gonna share my screen this way, the old-fashioned way.
So here's what it says from Popeye's Chicken. Popeyes is nothing without Black lives.
What?
Thank you, Popeyes.
This is a real tweet.
That is a real tweet from Treat
It's a real treat.
It's
real
a
treat
real
tweet
treat.
from Popeye's Chicken.
Holy shit.
This is what happens. Your virtue signaling is always going to backfire on you somehow. And good work, Popeyes. I think they wrote a much longer, and we'll generously call it a more thoughtful tweet. But after this one,
you got some explaining to do. Tweet.
Yeah, it was one of those tweets. I didn't get that one though, because who cares? It's not funny. But just a little thing to share. I have also a story I'm going to read, and this is Steve. You pull that. This is from Australia, and I'm not going to force Bekah to read this because it'll take forever, and she'll hem and haw, and she won't want to do it.
Thank you.
I will. I will read. I'll just read this,
as well as haw.
Hem and haw. I'd like to get. You know what? I'd like to get an origin of what does hem and haw actually mean.
All right,
somebody could find.
Yeah,
it's like hem and haw, like a horse.
All right,
hem haw. Jackass.
Well, maybe that's what it is. So, two men hired to carry out a stranger's sexual fantasy of being tied up while clad in his underpants went to the wrong New South Wales rural address with machetes, but politely left after realizing their mistake. One of the Sydney men has now been found not guilty in the New South Wales District Court of entering the home in July 2019, intending to intimidate while armed with an offensive weapon. Describing the facts of the case as unusual, Judge Sean Grant said the Crown hadn't excluded the reasonable possibility the man entered the house as part of a law plan to.
Why?
They machetes is a prop, something to use in that fantasy. The judge said in his published reasons for the acquittal earlier this month. The fantasy was unscripted, and there was discretion as to how it would be carried out. According to statements tendered at the brief Judge Alone trial, a man living in western New South Wales near Griffith wanted to tie up and have a broom handle rubbed around his underwear. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Just the broom handle.
He was willing to pay good.
If
my
it was
internet coming through?
it was choppy there for a minute, but we got the important bits.
Shit.
Just go back to the he was willing to pay line.
He was willing to pay. What?
No, you're good. You're good. I saw you hesitate. I thought it was frozen.
All right. We'll work through it. We'll work through it. All right. Oh, I got it. I was willing to pay $5 if it was really good. The judge said.
There you go.
Nicely done.
The would-be client had a history or proclivity for engaging in the services of people, a police officer said. After making arrangements with a man on Facebook, that's where we're at now, Facebook. All kinds of shit can happen on Facebook.
Anything goes.
For people to engage in the role play, he set his address, which he later updated after moving to another home. But on July 14th, a resident living in the same street as his address noticed some light coming from his lounge room when he got up to go to the toilet. Assuming it was a friend who came daily to make a coffee, he yelled out, "Bugger off, it's too early."
And then he called her a Shirley? No.
Shayla.
Shayla. You bloody
Get
Shayla.
out of my house, you fucking Shayla. After hearing a voice as his name was that of the intended client, the resident turned on his bedside light, took off his sleep apnea mask, and saw two men standing next to his bed. They carried machetes pointed down towards the ground. They started to leave after he told them his name, which was not that of the intended client.
Oh,
no. One man apologized, saying, "Sorry, mate," and shook the resident's hand. Would you shake that person's hand?
Hey, we'll go after this, right? We'll go out for a beer. Foster's.
If you're laying in bed, you take off your sleep apnea mask when you
right? Become bros with the dudes with machetes.
Right. Aye. Can I get a cup of coffee?
What the fuck was that, Dave?
I don't know.
What was that?
I like this stock image here they've got with the guy creeping in with the ski mask on, and there's a wallet with $100 bills, at least $100 bill outside of the wallet for some reason, and a phone. Like, I got this wallet, but I always set my cash next to the wallet.
That's what you do when you get home. You take your money out of your wallet and let it breathe.
Yeah,
it's been in the wallet all day.
Ease of access.
Yeah, it's been sweaty.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
For all home invaders, it's quick access. The other said, "Bye," before they drove off. The resident then contacted the police. When the men and their driver arrived at the correct address, the would-be customer noticed one had a great big knife.
Great big knife.
Great big knife.
No rules, just right.
Just knives.
That's not a knife. He had a great big knife in his pants, which he put in the car after being told not to bring it inside. They had coffee.
Don't you bring that inside now.
They had coffee, and the client made bacon, eggs, and noodles. Before the accused fell asleep on the couch.
What?
He didn't even molest him with a broomstick.
He didn't do anything.
He didn't even. Yeah. What the fuck?
They had coffee and breakfast, and he went to sleep.
Yeah, he had two guys come over.
And the machete part was only cool for a minute.
And what do you call it? A great big knife for? But part of the deal was it was supposed to have a machete, right?
I think it was be spontaneous and scare me, and I think maybe the great big knife was just too much. I mean, I'll get it. It's Australia. That's what you have, right?
Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Bye.
Police turned up soon after and found the machetes in the car. The judge said the Crown had proved the man had entered the first house with a machete, but had not proved that his intention had been to intimidate. His barrister successfully submitted the entry was for a non-criminal purpose. It was a commercial agreement to tie up and... goddamn fucking pop-ups.
Good.
I'm getting like this shit's just popping up and it's like scrolling my thing down.
This
Here we go.
website is full
Shit ass Daily Mail. It was a commercial agreement to tie up and stroke a semi-naked man in his underpants with a broom, the lawyer said.
We didn't get around to that part.
Yeah, they didn't even go through with it.
Oh, wait. Oh, and that's it. That's the end of the story.
Is that the end of it? I guess that is the end of it.
It's a cliffhanger.
I think.
When's this from?
I guess they weren't convicted. That's what I've gathered.
There was no criminal intent.
Yeah, they
from last week. Yeah,
it was an accidental scaring.
Even though the guy paid for it, but not the first guy.
No, definitely not the first guy.
At least they had the decency to ask if they're the right client first.
They shook the hands. That's good.
They shook hands.
They shook.
Man.
I mean, it's a gentleman's agreement.
Good.
Like we're fine now, right? No need to call the cops. No need to call the bobbies.
Right. It's the right thing to do.
Yeah, the barbecues. Shrimp on the Barbie.
Yeah.
I've heard of this before, like people hiring, a woman hires a guy to sort of do like a rape fantasy kind of thing. I just can't imagine this ever being a good idea. Maybe if you know the person, but you're just going to contact a fucking person on Facebook and ask them to break into your house and fucking molest you with a broom.
It's not like you don't know them. You email them once or twice.
Yeah. Okay. You exchanged emails. And you can't get someone that you know to do it because I don't think that would satisfy the fantasy.
Yeah.
If you're really wanting to feel scared, that's not going to be enough.
But what if the fantasy actually becomes a reality of you're actually getting robbed instead of having sex?
Well, there was 100% a Law and Order SVU episode about this.
Oh, really?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. What if they get raped, but not by the person that they hired?
Yeah. That's a lucky day for the rapist, right?
Pick the right house at the right time.
Like, wow.
Like you're
really, they're really just kind of going along with this. It's weird. Like usually they put up a little more resistance.
Guy breaks into a house, rapes a woman, and then after it's over, she's like, "The money's on the dresser."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Wait, wait a minute,
what?
You're paying me?
The money's right there, but it's between my wallet and my phone." You saw it when you came in with your ski mask and your flashlight.
The rapist is gonna be like, "I don't like this. I don't.
I'm confused.
This feels wrong."
I didn't sign up for anything consensual here.
You're taking all the fun out of it.
It's supposed to be my fantasy.
Yeah.
What about my power issues?
Everything's all screwed up.
I was supposed to be doing something really evil right now.
Yeah,
it almost seems like you like it.
How do we just connect? We could end a lot of crime if we just connected people with rape fantasies with real rapists. Maybe I could start an app. I could create an app and it could be anonymized, like looking to be raped. And then
you know me, I hide behind the bushes at 7-Eleven. Come walk by me sometime. I'll have a mask on.
You got a new message from Skeevy Strangers 69420.
Hey, you want to get raped tonight?
You want to do it?
Please say no.
Say no if you mean yes, but don't make it like you're saying no because you mean yes. Like say it like you really mean no, but you really mean yes.
Safe word is no, please stop.
Someone help.
Safe word help me.
Yeah, safe word is fire.
Say help me 12 times in a row.
Say no, really, I don't want this. Say no, I said that I wanted this, but I really don't. That means it's okay.
When I found that story, I felt for sure it was in Florida, but maybe Australia is sort of the Florida of the Southern Hemisphere.
There's not much to choose from.
you got all of South America.
Good point.
There's a lot of South America.
You don't really hear much about them. They're just down there chilling. You got Australia and South Africa. That's about it.
They do nothing but chill in South America.
Yeah, they're just chilling.
All they do.
I mean, they got all those, ancient monuments and shit.
Yeah, they got ancient monuments. They just gotta chill. They'll be fine.
They got
No
huge,
worries there.
like drawings on the ground of like spiders and hummingbirds and shit. Made by aliens.
Ancient aliens.
Yeah, the aliens made the hummingbirds.
They just sit on top of a mountain and look down on those things and just ponder.
Just be pondering, man.
Hey, Steve-O, I heard that America put some people in space.
Did you guys hear that the U.S. can launch its own astronauts now?
I saw it happen.
Yeah.
I saw it happen.
It's about time.
So, yeah, it finally happened. After 9 years, almost exactly, because it was March or May 30th, and then the last time the shuttle launched was in July of 2011. People still calling them shuttles. Becca, did you notice when we were talking to those people on the beach when there was still daylight that the lady called it a shuttle, and I didn't even stop to correct her?
Yes, I did. I'm very proud of you.
Everything
You stupid bitch.
You fucking cunt.
Actually, they're rockets.
It's a rocket with a capsule. It's not a space shuttle.
Do you see a big fat airplane looking thing on the side of that? No.
Exactly. Yeah, so after the scrub, I mean, we talked about it last week. I know all y'all were listening last week. They scrubbed it, and then come Saturday, the weather was really... On Wednesday, the weather on Saturday was looking better, but then by the time Saturday came around, it was not looking better. But they ended up threading the needle, and I went ahead and I've got some video of it, and even for audio listeners, you'll enjoy this because you'll get my raw reaction to the launch. Raw coming at you. Here you go. And then you'll actually get some launch sounds. Okay, so liftoff is happening right now. Start taking some pictures, and then it hits me.
See if you can hear Steve
God, they're
crying.
going. They're going. Look at them.
And I'm like, keep taking pictures. Keep taking pictures. And then here in a second, the sound will come. Right now, you're just hearing wind. Now you're hearing the roar.
Oh, yeah.
Who's this hairy stranger?
Oh, it's just this dude that he watches Pressing for Flight. He contributes a lot on the space side of things.
So in person, is that as loud as it seems it is?
Yeah,
that
it's
far away?
very loud. Yeah, this was about 5 miles away, and it is very loud.
Can you even believe it?
Do you like feel the kind of like the base of it or something?
You feel it in your chest.
You can feel it in your chest.
Yeah, it's not like the ground rumbles. I've heard people talk about space shuttles launching, and they had those huge solid rocket boosters on the side, and those put out a lot of force. The Falcon 9 doesn't do it quite like that, but you do feel it, and it sounds different. You hear me fucking laughing like an idiot.
Oh, wow. I can't believe they're gone.
It is. I say it is accurate to the sound that you heard. It sounds like you're right next to a motorcycle exhaust.
Yeah. What you're hearing there is, in terms of like what it sounds like, it's pretty accurate. Like, of course, I'm not sure how it comes across on, through the interwebs and stuff, but the way that it sounds to me, listening to it like this, is pretty accurate. It's just a lot louder, whenever you're there. There's a different kind of sound. Like you hear a rumble when you're, 10, 15, 20 miles away, but there's a different kind of sound when you're less than 5 miles away. There's this distinct, it's like a popcorn. It's like you're
popcorn in a kettle.
Yeah. It's like you're hearing, and I want to say that this is actually correct, but you're hearing like little tiny sonic booms of the exhaust coming out the engine at supersonic speeds, and that crackle is tiny little sonic booms. It's pretty incredible, and you don't have to be media to get this close. This is actually not even as close as you would be if you were watching a launch from the Apollo Center at the Kennedy Visitor Complex. But the sound, it sounds pretty accurate. Now, this was. I knew that it was going to be important, and I knew that it was going to kind of strike me, in a certain way, kind of not really emotional, but like, finally it is done.
Steve-O's he's not gonna get emotional.
I mean, I wish I could, man. I wish I could shed a tear, but
like Spock.
I'm
Spock
like,
over here.
Cold.
Yeah.
But right after this stream ends. Like, I left this going the longest, but so before the launch, or a couple days before, I got a call from the media chief of the Air Force, and he asked if I was interested in going to see Trump give a speech after the launch. And I actually offered it to one of my colleagues with Next Horizon Spaceflight, and he was really thrilled about the opportunity. So I was like, okay, well, I'll let Matt go. And but I told Jim, I was like, okay, so I'm going to let Matt have that opportunity. But if there is room and I'm not taking anybody else's spot, then I would like to go also. But there, it was kind of a one person per outlet, COVID thing. Well, the opportunity was there, and so I got to go as well. So right after this, and they said at T plus 2 minutes, which is launch plus 2 minutes, we got to be in our cars and ready to go and get on a bus that would take us to the vehicle assembly building, which is the big, you guys know, the huge building that they used to assemble the shuttles in, and the Atlas V or Saturn V's in, that took us to the moon. And so that all happened really fast. It's like, there's the launch, get your shots, get in the car, not a whole lot of time to really soak it in. And then we get to the bus, we all pile on the bus, and then we end up at the VAB. Now this is only the second time I've ever seen a president in person, and the first time was at Heritage High School when I was at lunch, and we already knew that George W. Bush he had passed up the school to go up to Townsend to give a speech for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. But he drove past the school. That was kind of neat. But he was going to be coming back that way, and somehow word got out that he was going to stop at the end. And if you know the layout of Heritage, the school is set off the highway, off US 321. Mm-hmm. Word got around that he was going to stop, so everybody just went out the doors and ran the probably quarter mile, half a mile from the front doors of the school down to the road, to go meet the president. And there was no like security checks or anything. It was just like 100 kids running down to the highway to meet the president, right?
Out there looking 9/11 for evil doers. Oh, it was pre 9/11.
It was pre 9/11, yeah, because I graduated that year. So the fact that I was in school,
that's right.
So it would have had to have been the second,
right before.
Yeah, it would be like the first half of 2001. So this was my first time ever going through a security checkpoint for seeing the president. And man, they are thorough. I mean, I've been through they have the dog sniff your bag and stuff like that. When you're going out to the launch pads, they're fairly thorough. They want to look inside your bag and stuff. These guys, it was like, set your bag down, open the bag, but then you got to walk away, and we're gonna go through everything. And they're like, looking at your camera, turning your camera on, looking at your photos to make sure, I guess, that it's a real camera. They're looking at your lenses, taking off your lens caps, and then the butt cap, whatever the back cap's called, and looking through it, making sure that everything in there is real and
could be a gun camera.
Yeah, well, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
And they're checking everybody's temperature. I got my temperature checked twice because they just didn't. I was like, yeah, you already checked it. I don't care. Here, tilt your head up. And going through the metal detectors and stuff. It's kind of a big to do. It was kind of neat, I guess. But anyway, we get in and we go to the.
So you got some pictures of.
I got some pictures. Yeah.
Sweet.
We go into the VAB, and this was the scene. Of course, the VAB is huge. It has to be huge. They process rockets in there. They take the pieces of rockets and they make them into full rockets.
This is the one that can have clouds develop inside of it.
Yeah, it can rain inside there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. That's yeah. And then this is just kind of a tighter look. Just this is what the stage looked like. It's got old Trumpy Bear right there. Yeah. He's not very photogenic, I learned. It's very difficult to get a shot where he's not making some kind of weird face,
Whatever, liberal.
It's probably the case with anybody, really. But it was like, man, like every time I thought that that's the keeper, I was like, nope.
You couldn't get any closer.
No, I could. I've got another one. Oh. So this was kind of neat because you've got this is the lunar rover. That's kind of a mock-up of what they drove around on the moon, and then this is like the bottom segment of a shuttle booster. Well, it's probably really the bottom of a SLS booster, and then you've got the SpaceX Crew Dragon, kind of like taking its place in history. The first commercial spacecraft to launch astronauts, and that's ever. Now the difference, it should be known that companies have always built the spacecrafts, but it's always been NASA sort of designing them and then saying, okay, here Boeing or here Lockheed Martin or Northrop Grumman, you build this for us, Whereas in this case, they told SpaceX and Boeing what sort of like upper level requirements they have. Obviously, needs to have life support, needs to have chairs, needs to have a suit that's going to keep them safe.
Needs to have a place to put your wiener.
Yeah, well, obviously, and so they designed their own spacecraft and they operate it. And if you watched the live stream, SpaceX was running the show. NASA was there, obviously, to make sure that their astronauts were safe and that SpaceX wasn't taking any unnecessary risks or something. But SpaceX they were in charge of launching, and so that was kind of neat to see that play out.
Seeing that worm logo.
Yeah.
That nice worm.
You got the worm going.
You got the worm. Now, you might recognize the back of this head right here, because that is none other than Mr. Elon Musk.
Yeah. Could you feel it? Could you feel his presence?
Well, I assumed that he was there, and I assumed that he was gonna give a speech, but he was never asked up on stage. This is this was during Mike Pence's speech, and he asked him to stand up and just wave, I guess. And then I saw later on a video that someone had taken from right up there next to him, and there was a bunch of reporters saying, "Elon, jump up in the air for us," So he jumped up, and so there was a couple. You got people that got shots of him actually jumping up in the air. I don't think he's actually up in the air on this one, but he does look like he's looking right at me, doesn't he?
Oh yeah,
he's winking right at you.
Yeah,
he is.
He's like, "I did it."
Could you feel? Well, I mean, you've got Trump on, right next to Elon. Could you feel it is like a vortex being formed with those two personalities in the same room?
Yeah. I thought the VAB was just going to lift off.
Yeah.
We were all going to go to space. Let's see. And then I guess the good shot I got of Trump was that one right there. It's
There
still
you
kind
go.
of a little bit blurry.
I
you
like
know?
it.
Like the lighting in there wasn't great.
He definitely does have a white around his eyes, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Sunglasses.
Yeah, he needs do something about that. He looks weird.
He's got to wear the little sun tanning bed ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got any of him with just a goofy look on his face?
I think I do. Honestly, I didn't edit very many of the shots from in here. I was feeling uninspired by the photos that I took inside the VAB, but I do have them. They're not in like JPEG form, and I don't know. Let's see. I don't even know how many I've got imported. Yeah, I don't even have. Oh wait, no. Here, let me see. Launch day. Let me scroll down here. See what we got. I don't know if it's gonna load up in time. Here we go.
Was there anything interesting said during this thing? This little. Was this thing televised? I mean,
I have to assume that it was. I assume it was on NASA TV. It was, it was all congratulatory. It's like, we've done it, and I think Trump did make a mistake saying that, this is better than the shuttle or something in a room full of NASA fans. But, it was okay. I admittedly, I left feeling like he had kind of taken some of the magic out of it, because when he spoke about it, it wasn't very enthusiastic. Let me see. I don't know if I'm going to even be able to get this to show up. Yeah, it's not going to show up. It's the wrong version. Chrome doesn't like anything but JPEGs, so I'd have to go and like edit.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, so after that, it was back out of the VAB, and I wanted to tune in to all the coverage. I've been talking about how they were going to give continuous coverage until they were actually on board the space station, and they did. Let's see. I think here's a good video of it. The dragon actually approaching.
Yeah, I didn't get to see this part, so
yeah, it was kind of neat. You just see it, kind of firing its little thrusters, and this apparently was Doug Hurley actually flying it. Right? Like there was a moment before they reached the space station where they wanted to do some manual flying. So he's actually controlling these thrusters. So that was, just kind of neat. And then once they finally got there, you've got them actually entering the space station.
We have Bob Behnken from SpaceX Demo 2 mission entering the International Space Station.
Yeah, everybody's clapping, but the dude let off his button.
Followed by Doug Hurley.
And these all Americans greeting him. Are there Russians there too?
Yeah, the guy on the right, that's Chris Cassidy. He's an American astronaut, and then the two guys on the left, those are
the International Space Station.
Those are the Russian cosmonauts. And in space, it ain't like the way it is on the ground. The people, between NASA and Roscosmos, that's their version of NASA. That they're all buddies.
They're spacemen.
Yeah, I don't think they really get too much involved with the politics, Let's see, what else did I have? Oh yeah. And then the booster came back yesterday morning or yesterday afternoon. And this was a shot that I got just zoomed in tight on the NASA worm logo on the side of the booster after coming back from space, all dirtied up. And I do have those for sale. Anybody wants them, go to spacecoaststeve.com. You can download a 1 megapixel copy of that for $2 to use as your phone background. And it won't.
Or they can order prints too, right?
Yeah, they can order prints too. Of course, more people are willing to spend $2 than 25 or more.
You want a dove backlit by flames? He's got it.
I've got it. Yeah, fuck yeah. And yeah, so just some quick photos of the booster coming back. So this is the only booster to ever launch humans, the only Falcon 9 booster to ever launch humans. And kind of a interesting side note, today, I don't know when they made this decision, but it was just made public today that NASA has already said that they're good to go for pre-flown boosters and capsules. So before it was with the contract, it was they were only SpaceX was only allowed to use a brand new booster and a brand new capsule when they were flying astronauts. But NASA has decided to go ahead and let them use pre-flown boosters and capsules for not the next 2 crew missions, but after that. So the next one, like this one was called Demo 2 because it is still a test. It's a demonstration mission. The next one is called Crew 1, and then there's Crew 2, and so on and so forth. After Crew 2, they're allowed to use pre-flown boosters and capsules if they want to. And that just makes things cheaper. So there you go. We made history. We did it. Bob and Doug are up there right now, and we don't know exactly how long they're going to be up there. They've said anywhere from a couple of weeks to up to 4 months.
So what's the coming back process? Is SpaceX doing that too? I mean,
yeah, they
how does that work?
They get their suits back on. They get in the capsule, and they back away from the space station like they came in, and then they do a deorbit burn, and they are gonna come down under parachutes. I don't know what to expect. Of course, this will be the first time that a Dragon capsule has come back off the coast of Florida, but it's supposed to be their primary landing target is about 30 miles offshore from right here. So I'm hoping that maybe we can actually see it streaking across the sky, like, because I know that, obviously when something's re-entering from orbital speeds, it lights on fire, it's going to do that. But I'm just not sure how far, if it's over the horizon when that starts to happen, or if it's going to be like kind of where I can, if we look to the west, we'll be able to actually see it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I know they don't have to worry about a rocket underneath them that might blow up if something goes wrong, but it seems kind of scarier to me coming back.
They've actually said that, returning can be more dangerous than launching. Because those parachutes have been tucked away inside that capsule for however long they've been up there, and it's cold and it's hot in space. It goes both ways. If you're in sunlight, it can be 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and if you're in the darkness, then it can be negative 200 degrees Fahrenheit. But they've done a lot of tests on these parachutes. They actually upgraded them because they came up. The company that makes them, it's called Airborne. They saw some things in testing that were like, they call them corner cases. It's like, if this rare situation happens, then you might like get like a rip in your parachute or something like that. And they came up with a better design, and then they tested the hell out of them over like the past 4 or 5 months. It's really not long. I think they announced that change back in October, and then they started testing it. But they've done 27 tests on that. It's called the Mark III. I don't know. It's like the next generation. And they feel really confident. NASA feels confident with them, and they've got a ton of experience with parachutes. So everything should be fine. And then once they're picked up out of the ocean, then it should only be a couple hours back to port, and hopefully that happens during the day so we can actually get some good photos of it.
Dave, are you sleeping right now?
No, I'm trying to fix something here.
Okay. I just see him like lean forward. It's like he was nodding off. I was really hoping I'd catch you nodding off.
No, I'm gonna miss.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Sorry to wake you.
You know how things go. Do you have any snacks with you?
No.
Fuck. Well, that's your problem.
He's not allowed to have snacks right now. He's got the.
I'm not.
He's got that microphone right next to his mouth right now.
Right up next to it.
He's testing the
Do
waters.
some ASMR or lick that mic. Hey Becca, are we gonna do a couple of those things again? The things.
That's a mighty fine idea. Let me prepare you guys. So we're going to do the tongue twisters again, and this time we're all going to try to do the same ones to see who does them best. So I guess I should just send this to everybody at once, right?
Yeah.
The thing.
And we're going to let you play this time, right, Becca?
Oh, thank you.
Hey,
Yeah,
real quick, Jerry, if you're still Jerry commented 3.1 miles of the press site. That is true for that press site. I was at a different spot. The press sites can move around. They just, it's wherever they designate the press site.
Jerry says his shuttle did rattle the ground too.
Yeah. Yeah. Same reaction when I watched my first shuttle launch. Yeah. I mean, seeing people every launch I'd seen up to this point was all just satellites. You hope the rocket doesn't explode, but there's a little bit more on the line when there's people on board. Sorry. I didn't mean to take that much time to say that.
No, we're still waiting for... Oh, there it is. Okay. So, Becca, you have sent a total of 6 of these.
Yep. That's all the ones I had left.
All right.
So what are we doing?
Don't spend them all in one place.
You got to read these.
Oh, yeah. Patrick wasn't here. Okay.
Nope.
Patrick goes first.
Patrick goes first. Read the top one.
Okay. Just read it. All right.
And you have to no. There's no just read it. This has to be read at a decent pace, and you can't mess up. Not a single time. If you mess up, you have to start over, and you have to do it until you get it.
And you have to drink if you have a drink.
Okay.
All right. Which one is he doing? Here.
Just pick any of them. I don't care.
Oh, I can pick any of them?
Yep. Just
okay.
Pick. But don't read them. Just go.
Sorry. 3 gray geese in the green grass grazing gray where the geese and green was the grass in which the geese were grazing.
Nicely
Pretty
done.
good.
Okay.
Not bad. Not bad.
Okay. Brad, same one.
3 gray geese in the green grass grazing. Gray were the geese and green was the grass in which the geese were grazing.
I don't think so.
He gave us some rhythm.
I gave you some rhythm.
I think that helps. I don't think you're allowed to do that.
Remember our trick from last week?
You have to whisper.
3 gray geese in the green grass grazing gray were the grease.
Gray with the green.
Start over. Take a drink.
3 gray grease. I'm gonna drink. I move on. I mean, let's move on. Someone else.
Nathan.
Oh, Nathan's just going to show us how to do it.
Pick a different one. Pick the...
Oh, a different one? I want to try that really long one.
Okay, do it.
Hold on, let me... All right. Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So she bought a bit of butter and put it in her batter, and it made her batter worse.
Oh no, it made it worse. Man, that's pro
level. That was a tough one.
Wait, what is this? What is this lowercase y in the middle of this?
That's the first one I felt was difficult
because it has okay, what listeners and viewers, even viewers, won't be able to see.
Yeah,
is that
that's weird.
On the line that says it will make my batter better? The my has a lowercase y.
It's just to throw you off.
I don't like it.
Let's hear Dave try that one.
Which one?
Dave, the better batter one.
It's the only thing with a lowercase anything.
Yeah, exactly. Everything else is all caps.
Like some Dr. Seuss shit.
Like on all
better,
the other
better
cards,
book.
it's all caps.
All right. Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So she bought a bit of butter and put it in her batter, and it made her batter worse.
What happened? It's like it cut away to another time where you just said the word
like I can know it.
Let me try that one more time. I'm not.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, let me try it again.
The same one?
Yeah, let me try to better my batter.
Okay.
Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So she bought a bit of butter and put it in her batter, and it made her batter worse. That was better.
That was
I
pretty
don't
good.
like how you said worse.
I just said worse.
Yeah, he didn't say it all weird like.
I didn't pause and go
in a different tone.
Worse.
Of all the saws I ever saw, I never saw a saw like that saws. Bam!
Nicely done.
That's like easy mode right there, right?
Lift the ladder later, lisp, Lester, lift the ladder later. Fuck.
That is the one I was just about to ask you to read. Good job. Kind of.
You can try it again if you want.
Somebody try that one again. Yeah, try that one again.
Lift the ladder later, lisp, Lester, lisp. That's hard. Lift the ladder later, lisp, Lester, lisps, lift the ladder later.
Right. Well, of course. I mean, lift the ladder later, lift the ladder later, lisp Lester. Lester lisped, lift the ladder later. It's just the same thing said backwards.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it difficult. One of the things. Does your shirt shop stock short socks with spots?
Oh no, that is completely unacceptable. That is unacceptable.
Did I do that out loud? Shit.
Does your shirt shop stock short socks with spots?
Spots.
With spots.
Let's
Does
see,
your shirt
Patrick.
shop stock short socks with spots? I don't like that one.
Hey, Patrick, try that
Yeah.
one.
Does your shirt shop stock short socks with spots? That one?
You said shocks instead of socks.
Shock.
Oh.
How dare you?
Damn.
Unbelievable.
Mm-mm.
I want to hear everyone do the Betty bought her butter story.
Betty bought some
Like at the
butter,
same time.
but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So she bought a bit of butter and put it in her batter, and it made her batter worse.
Betty bought some butter, but said, wait.
Butt said.
Butt said.
Butt seeds.
Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter. I could have kept going. It would have sounded fine. Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of butter. I fucked up the same part. All right. Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So she bought a bit of butter and put it in her batter, and it made her batter worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't know anything about butter batter.
Clearly.
Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit... Shit.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Bitter.
We have to complete this.
Yeah, we can't end the podcast.
Okay.
You'll be on all night, mister.
Oh, God. Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bitter... Shit. Done with this.
Well,
who hasn't tried that one yet?
Dave.
I did.
You did Betty Bonner. Bekah.
Remember my classic spin my worst?
Classic worst. Yeah, Bekah. Do it while he's getting his drink. He let him collect himself.
Betty Botter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So she bought a bit of butter and put it in her batter, and it made her batter worse.
You've been practicing that all day.
That's right.
Yeah, I know your game.
She got those.
Yeah, my phone wasn't even lit up. I wasn't even looking at anything. I've got it memorized.
She is Betty Botter.
My batter is not bitter. Well, good job, guys.
No, that was good. Wait. Patrick's got to do it. Patrick's got to do it.
We will be here all night.
Yeah, he's got to do it. One more time.
All right. Betty Botter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So she bought a bit of butter and put it in her batter, and it made her batter worse.
Bravo.
Okay.
You just gotta believe.
Just believe in reading.
Yep. We didn't even do all these.
We didn't do the lily ladled little ladies little soup.
Lily ladled little
lentil soup.
Lily ladled little lilies little soup.
Little lilies.
Lily ladled little ladies little soup.
Lily ladled little ladies little soup.
Lily ladled little Letty's lentil soup.
Of all the saws I ever saw, I never saw a saw like that saws. That's easy.
Dave. Look at
I have to do it again?
Do the ladle one.
He doesn't
Talk
even know.
about your lilies.
Let's hear how your L's are, Dave.
All right. Oh my God. I can't see it. Here we go. Lily ladled little Letty's lentil soup.
I guess
Good
that's
job,
right.
Dave. You were so worried about nothing.
Really?
Yeah. No comment.
I thought it was cut off at the bottom. That's it?
Does your shirt shop stock short socks with spots?
Short socks with spots.
Short socks. Does your shirt shop stock short socks with stops?
Okay, so for our final round, which one of these is going to be the best one to whisper? I'll bet it's the lispy ladder molester.
The ladder molester.
Yeah. Let's do the ladder molester.
There is 6 of them. We could all whisper one at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
It's probably a better efficient use of podcast time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got to knock out which one of us is doing which real fast.
Bekah, you just assign.
Oh.
Okay. 3 gray geese is Nathan. Lift the ladder later. That is Brad. Does your shirt shop is who have I not given one to?
Nobody.
Steve-O, Dave, Patrick.
I've given 2, I think.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
little lady. I'll be little Lily is who say your name if you haven't got one.
I got one.
Forgot.
Patrick.
You guys
Patrick.
are
I got
impossible.
one.
Patrick hasn't got one.
You know what? Just go. Just fucking go.
Okay, just read
We're all
one.
doing random ones at the same time.
Does your shirt shop stock short socks with spots? Of all the saws I ever saw, I never saw a saw like that saw. All right, thank you very much, Bekah. Thank you so much. That's
enough.
It's a new classic, that game. Everyone loves it. Thank you, Bekah. Thank you to Haywood Banks. Oh wait, it's time for a poem. I can't thank Haywood Banks yet. Hold on, Haywood. We have a poem.
Hold on, Haywood. Man, not that bad.
So this is the hardest time I've had writing a poem that I can remember in history.
Really?
Yeah, it's been I am on my 4th page.
Were we just having too much fun? Were you just
my 4th attempt? So it's a short one. And it's called Gray Grease. It was originally called Elite and Dangerous. At some point, we will take our place in history with a signal-boosting demonstration of personality. Surrounding the world with a better story is the hard part, but at some point, we have to march forward.
Brilliant. Perfect. Very timely. Topical. Now I'll say thank you, Bekah, for the great poem. Thank you to Haywood Banks for our theme song.
And I will say follow us on Twitter because you never know where we're going to go live next.
Now it's on Facebook for now.
_verbal assault _ and yeah, so you're gonna need to go ahead and find us on Facebook if you don't already. And yeah, Verbal Assault Podcast. You should just be able to search on Facebook for Verbal Assault Podcast.
Yeah. If you do the audio form, it's always in the show notes. You can click the link there; it should take you straight to it.
Bam.
Yeah. And as always, be sure to like and subscribe, leave a 5-star review anywhere you get your podcast at, and support us on patreon.com/verbal assault.
But we are still posting the archive video on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, cool.
You know, a lot of people out there, they say, oh, look at me, I got a cell phone, I'm walking around, I'm doing business, I'm talking on speakerphone while I'm waiting for my coffee. Bet you don't know what people used to use phones for back in the day. They used to call phone numbers.
No way.
What?
Yeah, you dialed in 10 digits, like say for example 865-316-6955, and then you would either talk to somebody else, somebody would pick up the phone. That means they would answer the phone. That means when the phone rang, they'd pick it up and put it up to their head and say hello.
So they would be on a phone call too.
Yeah. But
Whoa.
Sometimes people couldn't pick up because they were busy, and they had these things called answering machines, and it would say some shit, and then whoever called would just leave a message. So
that's fucking weird.
Like artificial intelligence?
Yeah, it's really weird.
Throw back those classic days and just call 865-316-6955 and say your name, say where you're from.
Just
what
say
kind
your
of
name.
phone do you have?
Just say the name.
What kind of bug did you get stung by?
Yeah, do you like bugs? How do you feel about bears? Do you want to go camping? Just call that fucking number.
Do you have broomstick fantasies?
Do you leave your cash next to your wallet?
Call up and let us know. And let us know where you live.
Leave the doors unlocked. We'll be there tomorrow.
The doors.
Have breakfast for us.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Deuces.